here. The channel is Programming in Any Language. The supporting website is programminanylanguage.com or black-duck.com. They both take you to the same place. And it's a place where you'll find the videos and PDFs of the code in most cases. The video is the Anything Database version 3 part 4, saving the file. Saving the data consists of extracting data from the fields of each structure in the list. Each field is already sized properly with blanks. Each field is then concatenated to a single variable with a comma between each field to make the record a comma-delimited record. Once the complete file has been created, it is in a format that can be easily imported into a spreadsheet or a database table. The process is actually quite simple and straightforward. Watch. Okay, let's take a look at saving the file. We've managed to create some data. We've managed to be able to navigate through the data, but we always have to re-enter it because we're not saving it. It might be an important thing to do right now to save that data. So this will be the Anything Database version 3 part 4, saving the file. You'll find that right in here, in this area right here, saving the file. We're going to open StreamWriter. We're going to select the output file, write the records from our list, and then close the file. Very simple procedure. We can kind of narrow this thing down a little bit and take a look at just the pieces we're looking at. You open the StreamWriter, selecting the output file. We're going to put it out in the /bin debug folder, so it's always there. We don't have to worry about where it is. It's going to be part of the program. And we're going to write the records from that list, and we're going to close the file. Now, what does this look like? Really, we're going to be dealing with two things. We're going to be looking at the Save button. And the Save button is going to do all the, it's going to do all the structure for what we're actually going to be doing. We're going to have a counter in there. So we're going to set up a variable that's going to be the anything record. We're going to pull all the data together from this thing. We're going to have a try catch putting in there. So we're going to be able to try. This is going to be if everything's going well, it's going to happen right in here. If something goes wrong, the catch is going to grab it and give us a message, a system message, so we can find. We don't know what kind of error it's going to have. Maybe the file's not found, or file's corrupted, or something like that. If we get something like that, this will tell us what it is. So the try is going to be basically where we're going to do all the work. So we're going to do the StreamWriter anything file. That's what we're going to call it, anything file. Anything file is going to be equal to file create text anything database.txt, what we're going to be calling it. And so we don't have anything in here. It's going to go right to the /bin/debug folder. We're going to use a for loop. We're going to use int counter starting at 0. We're going to, as long as less than the record count, how many number of records we actually have out in our list, we're going to keep on going. And we're going to increment the write counter by 1 every time we do that. What we're going to be doing inside, we're going to call a format record. And we're going to pass it the int write counter, so we have a pointer to it. And we also are going to give it the reference of the string anything record, so that this record is going to be going out there so we can populate it with what we actually want to write to disk. And then once we have that, the anything file is going to write line. It's going to write that string anything record. So this guy right here is going to contain everything we need. You'll see a picture of that in a second as I move to the next slide here. We're all done. We'll close the file. We'll give the user a message written to disk, and off we go. Now here's that format record piece that we're going to be dealing with. I made this a separate file. We certainly could have included this in our loop, but it's busy. So rather than put it in that area, we created a method. And we called it, and we passed it the string record, and we also passed the x, this integer, which is going to be the pointer. So we've got those two pieces in there. Once we've got string record coming over, which remember is right here, it's string anything record. It's this blank record right here. We're populating it there. So that's going to come through. We're going to say string record is equal to anything list x dot first name plus a comma plus string anything list string middle initial plus a comma. So we're going to comma delimitate this thing. So this entire thing's going to be populated here. What does it look like? When we start looking at this thing, the records look like this. Daffy, D-A-F-F-Y, with a bunch of spaces in there, and then that comma. D, then a comma. Duck, and a bunch of spaces, then a comma. So we're actually grabbing things that are all the same size. All the first names are the same size, 15 characters, I believe. All the middle initials are 1 character. The last name is going to be 20 characters. So when we end up creating this record, we've created a comma-delimited record, which can easily be ported to a spreadsheet or a database of some kind if we wanted to. But this keeps it consistent. And we have to, of course, remember this when we're going to pull it back out in a load. We'll have to remember that it's this way, that we have 15 characters, 20 characters, and so on to pull out. So we can see all that here. Once it's concatenated all this stuff together into string record, we return string record to our file right here. What does it do? Well, once it's grabbed it, it writes that. It comes back as string anything record, and anything right line string record gets written out there. So we actually put it like that. And that's the extent of it. What are we using it for? Well, basically, we're going to be seeing our number of records here, but the big thing right here is the label message. We're going to be creating a message to tell the user that something has happened. We're using the save button, and that's about it. You know, really not doing too much of the form at this point in time. So that's going to be our extent right here. So let's take a look at this. We've got our form sitting right up here, and we're going to go into our save button. That's what we actually want to create right here. So we're going to double click on this, and that creates our little event that we're going to have here. We're going to put in the code we talked about a little while ago into this session right here to make it all work. I'm going to grab it in bulk and pop it in here for us so we don't have to spend a lot of time typing this stuff in. So what you saw on that slide is going right in here. So we got our int write counter, the number of records written to disk. We've got, let's format this thing. We've got the string anything record. It's going to hold the data, the current data from the list boxes. Because it's going to actually come from the structure. I'm going to say from the structure. And we're going to try to spell structure right too. And then we're going to do our try. String anything file. We're going to be creating our anything database.txt in our /bin/debug folder automatically. There's our loop. Format record is giving us an error because we haven't created that routine yet. But we're going to pass it the counter as it increments right here. That counter is going to go going forward. So we're going to have that number sitting out here. And we're going to reference anything record. So this guy right here is going to be given the keys to this particular record as we always have it. So we're going to pass it this thing. It's going to populate it. We'll bring it back and we'll be able to use it again. So anything file is right in here. We're going to bring back string anything record, and we're going to go ahead and write the disk. Now we've got to get rid of this error. So we're going to create that method we actually need right down here. So we're going to grab the method and create it right under this section right over here. Pop it in. And there's our format record. Our error is gone now. So when we pass it the int write counter and string anything record, it goes into these areas right here, int x and string record. When string record's sitting out here, we can then take string record and concatenate all the pieces we find in the structure. And we have that x coming here to tell us which one in that list. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on down the line. Daffy Duck, Elmer Fudd, Tweety Bird, and so on. All those things come forward. And once we're all done, we return string record. So string record comes back up to here as string anything record, and it's fully populated with data now, and we write the record. And then we go back and do another one, and we keep doing it until we run out of data in our structure list that we've got sitting out there. When we're all done with that, we close the file, and we're done. That's really all we need to do to save a record. Very straightforward and simple. Let's go ahead and file save this thing and do it and make this happen. Okay, what do we got here? Well, we got nothing here. We don't have the ability to save yet. We do now, but we don't have anything out there to load, so we can't do anything. So we're going to go back and do an add here. And we're going to type in Daffy Duck. And there's our first record in our database. We can now add another one really quickly. So notice our navigation turned on. We can add another one. And we'll add one more. And we've created our database of records now. Records successfully added. We're now going to hit the save button. We do that, and bang, data written on disk. Let's exit this and see. Did it really happen? If we jump out and go to our folder, I've got this thing right here. I'm going to bring it over. It's in the bin folder, debug folder, anything database text. We click on it, and up it comes in our. Yeah, I better save that. Yeah. Anything database.txt, here's our formatted data sitting out there nicely. And notice this, the commas in there, it's comma delimited. So we can easily bring this thing back in by writing a load routine. And that's what we'll do next. That's saving a file in a nutshell.
With save complete, the next obvious task would be to create the load routine. That'll be next. Thanks for watching. Visit the website when you get a chance. And please subscribe to the channel. There's more stuff coming every week. We'll see you in the next video. Take care.